Bismillah, alhamdulillah, salatu wassalamu ala rasulillah wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa man walahu ba'd. Alhamdulillahi wahdahu wa salatu wassalamu ala nabiyyina Muhammad. All praise due to Allah and His praise and blessings and peace be upon our Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, his family, his companions and his followers until the day of judgment. I bear witness that Allah is the only one worthy of worship and Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam his last and final messenger. Let me first express my appreciation and gratitude to those who organized this trip, Islamic Center of Kuwait, and those who are behind it, the individual who contacted me and asked me to come, and I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to reward them tremendously for that. It's always a pleasure of mine to meet my brothers and sisters everywhere in the world. And Kuwait is not a strange country to me. I grew up in Saudi Arabia, I grew up in the East Province in Saudi Arabia, so I'm very familiar with Kuwait. I visited Kuwait. I didn't mention that as second part of my second time. But this is my second time to come to this masjid, I guess. I visited Kuwait way long time ago, maybe in the 80s. So I know Kuwait very well, and I always love, alhamdulillah, this country, and I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to continue bless it and bless its community. Today or tonight, I would like to speak to you about success, al-najah, or al-falah. Success, it is something that we hear a call for it every day, 15 times, and according to some madhahib, 20 times a day. When we hear the adhan saying, hayya ala al-falah, come to success. Success, it is something that every Muslim knows very well, understands very well. And the ultimate success for each and every one of us is فَمَنْ زُحْزِحَ عَنِ النَّارِ وَأُدْخِلَ الْجَنَّةَ فَقَدْ فَازَ. Those who Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala saved them from hellfire and entered them paradise have gained the greatest basically reward or winning. As Rib'i ibn Amir radiyallahu anhu arda, when he died as a martyr, as a shaheed in the battlefield, when he saw the blood gushing from his chest, he took his hands, which is painted with the blood, and he wiped his face and he said something very interesting. He said, فِزْتُ وَرَبِّ الْكَعْبَةِ فِزْتُ وَرَبِّ الْكَعْبَةِ I won. Yani I continued on Islam until the day of my death arrived. Yes, I understand that this type of success is so important, and it is the ultimate success, and it is the most important success in life. To be successful in your relationship with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, to be successful when it comes to your relationship with the Quran, to succeed in learning your deen, in being active in da'wah, in doing your role as a Muslim as Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants you to be. I know that we all looking to succeed to enter Jannah and to save ourselves from hellfire. But that's not the only success Islam looking for. That's not the only success the Muslim should only think of. Success is a general meaning, and it includes that, and maybe that comes at the top of the list, but also to be successful in your life. That's why tonight, my talk about principles, about guidelines, that you can use these guidelines to achieve success in your religion, in your relationship with the Creator, but also you can use these principles to achieve success in your dunya, in your worldly life, in your secular life, in your relationship with the creation of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. As in Islam wants you to be a successful Muslim when it comes to your deen, also we would like to see a successful husband, a successful wife, a successful family, where you succeed in getting connected to your children, and your children succeed in finding that they are connected to their parents. I would like you to succeed to marry the one that you want, the one you deserve. Not only to marry someone that you can live with, but you will be married to someone that you can't live without. I would like you to achieve the success as a student, and to be an A student, and to excel in your studies. I want you to succeed in your work. I want you to succeed in your business. Al-Islam wants us to see us successful in every aspect in life. As we're looking for you to be a successful da'iyah, a caller to Allah, as I want you to succeed in your tawbah and your repentance to Allah to be successful, I want you to succeed also for your plan to memorize the Quran or to learn Arabic. Especially those who live among people who speak Arabic, you have a better chance that so many of your brothers and sisters around the world, don't have. So I want success to be a very general concept tonight. And as I said, these principles, you can use them both ways, and it should be used both ways. And I would like to start with saying that my first principle that I want you to keep in mind, that to remember mistakes, challenges, failure, hardship are not the enemy of success. You can be discouraged by your failure, or you can be inspired by your failure. You can learn from it. You can find it as an experience that lifts you up, as something that helps you to be a better person. And it's amazing how our start as human beings start with a failure. And I mean by that, after Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala honored Adam by making the angel prostrate before him, then He honored Adam by giving him the knowledge, then honored Adam by giving him the spouse, honored Adam by letting him be in Jannah. But Adam, in the midst of that, it's not always success. It's not always winning. He also had a test, and he failed in that test. When Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala forbade him from eating from a specific tree in Jannah. And he ate from it after the shaitan basically misled him. But did Adam alayhi salam learn from that mistake? It's amazing how ulama al-Islam, the Muslim theologian, and the scholars said, هل كان آدم مقامه قبل التوبة قبل الأكل من الشجرة أعظم أم مقامه بعد التوبة والذنب أعظم? Al-ulama talked about this example of Adam alayhi salam, saying that Adam, after he repented from his sins, after he learned from that mistake, after he learned from that failure, his status with Allah became even higher than he would used to be. He became a prophet. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made him a prophet and sent him to his children to teach and to start a mission that we are today, the result and the fruit of it. Part of our belief as Ahl Sunnah wal Jama'ah, أن الله لا يقضي قضاء إلا والخير الذي فيه أعظم من الشر. Part of our belief as Ahl Sunnah, that anything that Allah decreed upon us, there is more good in it than bad. My dear brothers, some theologians say there is no pure evil that Allah decreed, or nothing 100% bad. I'm not saying that. I'm saying there is nothing 100% bad. There is nothing Allah decreed upon us, and the good and bad in it equal. There is always more good comes out of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's qadar than the bad that you can think of. Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, al-khayru biyadayh, goodness in His hand, and His decree is all good subhanahu wa ta'ala. That's why Allah in many verses in the Quran warn us, do not ever think ill or negative of our Lord. لا تحسبوه شرا لكم بل هو خير لكم. Don't think of it something evil and bad. It is good for you. وعسى أن تكرهوا شيئا ويجعل الله فيه خيرا كثيرا. You might think, you might dislike something, but Allah will make so much goodness in it. عجبا لأمر المؤمن على إن أمره كله له خير. And Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, it's amazing how everything is good for the believers. Because the believer had the attitude, have the faith in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that he makes and sees the goodness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in his actions. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, when He decreed a hardship upon you, a calamity that you went through, And you know what? I'm going to be straightforward with you. A young lady came to me and she told me, a Somali young lady, when I was speaking about the concept of al-qadar, and I was speaking about this particular concept, and she told me, Sheikh, I was raped in one of the camps in Kenya when I was a teenager girl. One of my parents was killed in front of my eyes. I was dislocated from my village. I was kicked out. It took me 3 years of a very bad journey until I settled in one of the Western countries. Tell me what's good in this? What's good in me being raped when I was a teenager girl? What's good in me losing one of my parents and being dislocated from my village? It was a very emotional moment. And I know that there is many things like that in many people's head when we talk about this. Then I said to her, don't ever think when the Muslim scholar said that Allah do not decree anything upon people unless there is more good in it than bad, it means that the evil action in itself, it's good. The rape, the killing, the dislocating, the bad treatment are bad things, no doubt about that. Nobody argue about that. The loss of your child, the disease in itself, by itself, just looking at it like that, yes, it is bad. But by looking at the outcome, by looking at the whole picture, by looking at, the outcome, the end result, you will always see that there is more bright and there is more light than darkness. And I said to her, young lady, what do you do? She said, I finished a master program. And she's an activist woman for women's rights. And she actually run a program or in charge of a program in her organization to defend the right of women who are raped because of war in war zones. And I said, if you lived in your village in Somalia, what more likely your future will look like? A master's degree holder from a very distinguished university worldwide? She said, most likely I wouldn't finish my education. Would you think you will be an active, how many people you have saved through your work? And how many people you think in future will be saved as a result of your activism? How many wounded women you managed to heal and you reached out to? She said, alhamdulillah, many. And I said, yes, I know that was a terrible thing. But Allah has this amazing way of planning things. And you can't say, why couldn't be an activist without all this? No. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the most wise, the most knowledgeable. He knows what works and what doesn't work. Otherwise, you will make yourself God. You will have better plan than Him. But always, and sometimes even if you don't see the result of it in the dunya, it could be Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala solely want the reward for it in the akhirah. The good outcome that will overcome the bad, something that you see in the akhirah, not in this dunya. Something that you will experience when you meet Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Because somebody once told me also, he said, what about the person who drowned in a tsunami? Or what about this or what about that? I said, for me, life doesn't end by this dunya. I see Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's plan for the dunya and for the akhirah, for this life and the next. And in my heart, I know for sure that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, when He put this hardship for us, He meant to make us grow strong, not to make us grow weak. That's why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala promised the believers, the mu'mineen, that He will test them. And He will put them in trials. And He will put them in hardship. وَلَمَّا رَأَى الْمُؤْمِنُونَ الْأَحْزَابَ قَالُوا هَذَا مَا وَعَدَنَا اللَّهُ وَرَسُولُهُ. When they saw Al-Ahzab, The army that comes from every corner in Arabia, surrounding the Muslims in Mecca, in Medina, the Sahaba radiallahu anhum said, that's what Allah and His Messenger have promised us. It's amazingly, when you read the tafsir, you will find that the Mufassirin said, ما هو الوعد الذي وعده الله ورسوله? What the promise? I thought personally that Allah promised us victory, and that's what we're thinking about. Oh, they came and they will gain the victory. Because Allah said, way before that time. Way before that time. سَيُهْزَمُ الْجَمْعُ وَيُوَلُّونَ الدُّبُرُ. Anybody knows which surah is this? سَيُهْزَمُ الْجَمْعُ وَيُوَلُّونَ الدُّبُرُ. Anybody knows? Surah Al-Qamar. Anybody knows Surah Al-Qamar? Makki or Madani? Was revealed in Mecca or Medina? In Mecca, qawla wahida. So Allah in Mecca telling them that there will be a great gathering around you and they will be defeated. So I thought when I read this verse that Allah promised us something in His Messenger, I thought maybe they were thinking about the verse that in Surah Al-Qamar or the verse that came in Mecca, that the victory is coming. But you will find the Mufassirin said, no, well, the promise was al-fitnah. Allah promised us that we'll be tested. We'll go through hardship. We'll go through calamity. We'll go through challenge. That's the promise of Allah and His Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam. That's why, brothers and sisters, يُبْتَلَى النَّاسُ عَلَى قَدْرِ إِيمَانِهِمْ الْأَمْثَلُ فَالْأَمْثَلُ. People will be tested according to their iman. Why? Because the more hard test and hardship you go through and you succeed, the higher level you go, you grow. I simplify for you. I decided to lose weight. You can tell I'm not very successful yet, but I gained some success. I didn't give up yet. So I hired a personal trainer. And this personal trainer, he told me something very interesting. I still remember that. When he started training me, he said, Sheikh, you have to excuse me. In order for me to make your muscle grow to burn fat, I have to tear your muscle first. So it's going to hurt. First exercise, lifting weight, is going to hurt. It's not going to be very pleasant. It hurts a little bit because I have to tear it to make it grow. That pain, as we say, no pain, no gain. So that pain will result of gaining something. And that's what it is. These tests and hardship, it's meant to make you grow stronger. Never meant to make you grow weak. And I have a good news for you. Allah will never put you in a test unless He knows that you're capable of taking that test. He knows that you can handle it. Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, as I said earlier, Hakeemun Khabir, well experienced, full of wisdom and knowledge, subhanahu wa ta'ala. I always say, and I always give example of this beautiful, expensive rock called the black diamond. Ironically, black diamond are made from the same exact element of the charcoal. All both carbon. Charcoal is very cheap. فحم, you can buy your charcoal and coal anywhere, that's right. But black diamond are very expensive. You know why this became so expensive? And why this is so cheap? Because charcoal cannot make to resist any pressure. With any pressure you crush the charcoal. While black diamond became so very valuable because you can't crush it. It basically resists any type of pressure. And it became a very valuable and very expensive rock. What made that rock so valuable? Its ability to resist the pressure. And what made that charcoal so cheap, because it does not have the ability to resist pressure. What made the believer so valuable, because any pressure comes, he say, Alhamdulillah. I can take that. I trust Allah. He have his faith grow, his faith strong. He knows what Allah have chosen for him. It's much better for what he might have chosen for himself. That one made the believer so powerful, so strong, so valuable. I live in a place, it's called Houston, Texas. It's in the south of United States. People in the south, in Texas and Louisiana, they love they like you guys here in Kuwait, they love fish. But there is a very famous fish that they love, but this fish only grows in cold water. It's called codfish. Okay? So a businessman used to bring the codfish from the north down, frozen, not fresh. Nobody want to eat it. He came up with this idea of a tanker, put the fish inside the tanker, bring it all the way down to Louisiana. Nobody liked it because in the whole trip, the fish are lazy, just sitting there in the water, and by the time they arrive, it doesn't taste good. The muscle relaxes, and it's not good. So this businessman, came up with this very interesting idea. He brought a natural predator to the codfish. He brought catfish. And he drops a little catfish in every tanker. So the whole entire trip, when the catfish move, all the school of the codfish start moving around. So they kept them so active and going basically moving the whole entire trip. By the time they arrived down south, they became as fresh as new. I just came out from the water. I say sometimes Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala drop in your life some of these catfish to keep you alert, to keep you full of life, to keep you growing, to keep you fresh. Sometimes Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us these tests, even if it comes in the form of failing by committing sins, because Allah wants to see you going to Mecca and making 2 rak'ahs, making tawaf, mixing your tears with your words, to bring you down to your knees, to be humble, to recognize your weakness and to weep over your sins. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala drop these catfish in your life, so He wants you to soften your heart, to make you focus on things that are more important for your akhirah. Because He misses seeing you in the night praying. He misses seeing you in Fajr prayer. He misses seeing you coming early to the masjid and reading some Quran. And He dropped these catfish in your life. He tests you with these hardships and calamities, so a kind of wake-up call. Because as we said, a stumble may prevent a fall. That's right. Sometimes you stumble in something that prevented you from falling in your face. Do you see an opportunity for yourself to grow in these difficulties of your life? Do you think about it this way? How can I benefit from this? Many times people come and say, Ya Shaykh ad'uli, Ya Shaykh make dua for me. That Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala change our circumstances and my circumstances. My is not very good. And I say to myself sometimes and to those people, I'm wondering if Allah really, what He wants from you, what He wants you to think of, when you go through hardship and calamity, is He really interested for you to think about changing your circumstances, or maybe about you changing yourself? When things not going right in your life, one of the first things you ask, not, I want my circumstance to be changed. Maybe there is you need to change in order for your circumstances to change. Because Allah doesn't put you in that position unless He wants you benefit, to grow, to learn something. Ironically, if you look at successful people in this dunya, if you look at, and I did this long time ago, I looked at the top 500 Fortune company in the United States or in the world. You will find among these top companies in the world, the real success actually came in a time of disaster. Went through a lot of hardship. Just go read the story of GE, Microsoft, Honda. Mr. Honda lost his factory 3 times. Burned one, bombed another one. And every time you start from scratch. And Honda today, everybody knows what Honda is. Honda is a name of a man who invented this company. Read his story. It's an amazing story. And this is the dunya. And also, this hardship, this calamity that happened to us, as I said, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants us to grow strong. So that's number 1. Number 2, our success in this life, in any area, in any aspect, depends fully in your ability to utilize the gifts and the talents that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala have given you. Depends 100% in your ability to utilize and to use the things that Allah have blessed you with. No one can say, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give all of us so many things, so many blessings. I can tell you, what is the common factor between you and Imam al-Bukhari? You and Imam Abu Hanifa. You and Imam al-Shafi'i. And you and any religious figure that you can think of highly. Or even in worldly matter. What's the common between you and Bill Gates? What's the common between you and Al-Kharafi, rahimahullah, successful businessman from Kuwait? What's the common thing between you and any successful person that you can think of? Scientists like Einstein or Edison, who invented more invention that are registered by his name, more than any scientist in the face of the earth until today. There is nobody who invented more inventions more than Edison until today. You know what's the common thing between all of them and all of us? What Allah said in the Quran. وَاللَّهُ أَخْرَجَكُم مِّن بُطُونِ أُمَّهَاتِكُمْ لَا تَعْلَمُونَ شَيْئًا وَجَعَلَ لَكُمُ السَّمْعَ وَالْأَبْصَارَ وَالْأَفْئِدَةَ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala brought you out of your mother wombs, knows nothing. Do you think al-Bukhari came out of his mother saying, حَدَّثَنَا? Or Abu Hanifa came out and was saying fatwa? He came out crying like you. Baby like you, suckling from his mother's milk like you. Do you think these people born with? No. Oh, we all came. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala He said, He gave you the ability to hear, the ability to see, and the af'idah, the ability to comprehend, to understand the feelings that is in the heart. These things Allah is giving and putting, it's in you as a human being. That how you came out from the mother womb. What you do with them, all these are gifts from Allah to you. What you do with them, it's your gift back to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Your ability to discover yourself, your ability to utilize these gifts from Allah to think that will benefit you. I have one woman, she's from my relative. She finished memorizing the Quran in the age of 65. She memorized the whole Quran about when she was 65, 66. She started it may be when she was 58 years old. She said, I found it all my life, I didn't really seriously put an effort to memorize the Quran. Now, if she died, she will die as a hafidha li kitabillah, with ijazah. And she teach people at her home. She said, I just discovered that I discovered that in myself, that I discovered that I can memorize the Quran. Wow. Can you imagine if she discovered that in her 30s, or 40s, or 20s? She said, I regret. But alhamdulillah, when you discover your ability, that's something very important to do that as soon as possible. I can't emphasize enough on the importance of making sure that your children utilizing the gifts and the talents that Allah have given them. Make sure that they live up to their full potential. Wallahi, and Allah is my witness, I have seen Muslims around the world. I say to myself, if we just do 40% of our potential, 20% even, we will not be like that. But unfortunately we don't. We don't tap so many resources, so many things that we can do as human beings, as person. When Allah created our father Adam alayhi salam, the angels were like, what is this? Human. What's this strange creation? Different than the jinn, different than the angels, different than anything else. And Allah said about you, إِنِّي أَعْلَمُ مَا لَا تَعْلَمُ. I know what you don't know. I know what this human being capable of, which is something you have no knowledge of. I want you tonight, if you walk away with that feeling that you're something so special, وَلَقَدْ كَرَّمْنَا بَنِي آدَمَ وَحَمَلْنَاهُمْ فِي الْبَرِّ وَالْبَحْرِ وَفَضَّلْنَاهُمْ عَلَى كَثِيرٍ مِّمَّنْ خَلَقْنَا تَفْضِيلًا. We honored the son of Adam. We honored the children of Adam. We favored them over so many of our creations. We made them carried in the sea and carried in the land. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala honored us in so many different unique ways. So if you have that understanding of yourself, who you are, and all these things that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala have given you, that will make you someone who live up to their full potential. When I was in high school, one of my teachers told me something interesting. He said, Waleed, you know where is there is an area now, I used to live in Dammam. And this sheikh used to be in Khuba. And he said to me, I want to show you a place in our city. It is so rich in ideas. Has ideas that can change maybe the city or the country, who knows, maybe the world. Makes millions of reals. You can make a lot of money. So much knowledge. I heard he's talk about one of the famous universities there, Chamber of Commerce. That's what I'm thinking of. He said it's the cemetery. In it, there's so many ideas. So many ideas that can make so many changes in the world. But unfortunately, these ideas buried with its people inside the grave. Never was utilized, never was used. So much potential, worth millions and millions of dollars there. Make sure when you go to your grave that your ideas and your abilities and your potentials and your thoughts will not be buried with you. That's when I finished my high school, going to college. My advice to you today, if you want to be a successful person, Make sure that you live up to your potential. Most of successful people have not achieved their distinguished by having some new talent or opportunity presented to them. No. They have developed the opportunity that's at hand. They utilize what is available to them. Most of the people who successfully that we know of, don't be just waiting for the opportunity to come. I just want to wait for a lottery to win to go to America, or an opportunity to move to Canada, or just a luck to. That's not going to bring success to you. That's a mediocre person who's thinking that way. What you need to do is to invest in what you have at your hand. See the thing that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is giving you and take full advantage of it. Number 3. Success depends on a very Islamic principle. Very, very unique Islamic principle, which is called Mabda'ul Ihsan. The principle of Ihsan. Itqan. It means you do things perfect. You do things absolutely correct. It's a concept. When you think to make a choice between being good or you want to be great, that's itqan. The difference between failure and success, that failure to do something nearly correct, but success is to make it exactly correct. I think this is one of the biggest challenges that I see it in the Muslim world. Or at least the Middle East when I travel, that's what I travel to. I see in most of the countries that I visit that people say, كله ماشي. Alhamdulillah, khair inshallah, more sahla. Things are easy, it's okay. It's okay to settle with less. They don't try to make it correct. They don't pay attention to details. They just want to do any kind of job, any sloppy work. Who cares? As long as they pass by. That's why we're not successful. If you want to be successful, you need to learn to do things absolutely good, absolutely correct. إِنَّ اللَّهَ كَتَبَ الْإِحْسَانَ عَلَى كُلِّ شَيْءٍ. Allah prescribed ihsan, excellency, upon everything you do. And in Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam give a very interesting example, which is, قَالَ فَإِذَا ذَبَحْتُمْ فَأَحْسِنُوا الذِّبْحَ. When you kill an animal, make sure that you kill it in the most perfect manner. You have a sharp knife, you don't let the animal to look at its sister. To that extent. So if Islam wants you to be so careful about the feeling of the animal that is about to be slaughtered, what about you being careful about the feeling of the one who shared with you your life? The one who worked with you in your company? The one who is in your neighborhood, who lives next to you? If Islam wants you to be so careful about how you will kill, you wouldn't think that Islam also care. How would you live? If killing an animal required an excellency, how about living your life? Wouldn't that require for you to live it with excellency as well? With ihsan as well? That commitment to excellence, that will enable you to attain the success that you want. Ajib, when Abu Bakr as-Siddiq radiallahu anhu, the Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said that Al-Jannah has 8 gates. People will be called from the gate that they belong to. If you're a person who prays a lot, you will be called from the gate of Salah, or the gate of Sadaqah, or the gate of Siyam, fasting. Abu Bakr said, what about a person, Ya Rasulullah? There is anybody who will be called from the 8 gates? He knows that he's going to enter Jannah from one gate, logically. It's not Allah gonna cut him 8 pieces and every piece enter from a head from a gate and a leg from a gate. No, he's gonna enter from one gate. So, but why? He said 8 gates to be called from. Because he aiming high. He want to make the choice which gate I cut in from. In our days, one of us today wouldn't think that way. Some of us would think, Ya akhi, I will enter Jannah, yani, throw me from the window, slide me underneath the door, but let me enter. We don't, yani, we're very low, aim very low. That's basically ihsan, that's itqan. That appear in every aspect in our deen. Look at the salah. When Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala taught about the salah, He said people would pray and would only take 10%, 20%, 30%, 50%. Because Allah wanted to have what? Khushu' in salah. قَدْ أَفْلَحَ الْمُؤْمِنُونَ الَّذِينَ هُمْ فِي صَلَاتِهِمْ خَاشِعُونَ. Whenever you want me to stop, Ma'ruf, or Sheikh, whenever you want me to stop, let me. Huh? Okay, just let me. The next one, the next principle. إِنَّمَا النَّصْرُ مَعَ الصَّبْرِ. And Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam told us, success comes with patience. Be patient. Patience is the road to success. وَالْعَصْرِ إِنَّ الْإِنسَانَ لَفِي خُسْرٍ إِلَّا الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا وَعَمِلُوا الصَّالِحَاتِ وَتَوَاصَوْا بِالْحَقِّ وَتَوَاصَوْا بِالصَّبْرِ. Patience, what make a human being not a loser. One of the 4 things that Allah mentioned in this verse. Why? Because patience gives you time to think. Patience give you a time to think. Patience make you not to react in a hasty manner. Because most of our failure comes from responding without thinking. Patience also make you able to control your emotions. Most of damages happen in our life. Most of bad decisions happen in our life. It's when we're not rational. When we just follow our emotions blind. I have a say that I always say it in my talk in America. I say, it's okay to follow your heart, but just make sure you take your brain with you. You know, it's not right just you follow your heart and you forget about your brain somewhere else. You can't do that. You can't be wise. You can't just marry or divorce or start a business just because I feel good about it. Just because I saw a dream. Somebody want to start a business that day asking me, he said, Sheikh, I want to start this business. And I said, okay. He said, did you study it? Did you analyze it? Did you have experience about it? He said, no, I saw a good dream about it. You don't start a business like that. But Sheikh, it was after Fajr. Inshallah, after Dhuhr. It doesn't matter. Who said that after Fajr dreams means true? Or before Fajr? Decisions are not made like that. Especially these kind of decisions. Sabr, it means your ability to adjust to the new situation that you are in. Because a lot of people can't adjust to the change that happened to their life. That required sabr. Required a lot of sabr actually. That's why Ibn al-Qayyim rahimahullah said, sabr is not a passive thing. Sabr doesn't mean you do nothing. Sabr, it means you adjust yourself with the new situation that you're in, so you can basically enjoy your life and continue. They said, إِذَا لَمْ يَكُنْ مَا تُرِيد فَأَرِدْ مَا يَكُونَ. If what you want didn't happen, make sure that you want what happened. I'll say that again. They said, if what you want didn't happen, make sure that you want what happened. And it didn't work this way, work the other way. Adapt to it. This is how the new life is going to be. Okay. I will basically try to adjust myself and to excel. Number 5. The principle number 5 is our attitude really will determine our altitude. Your attitude will determine how high you will go, how successful you will be. Bad attitude, this is the only disability I have seen in my life. Allah tested me twice with 2 of my kids. 2 different diseases. And in every one of these diseases that I have witnessed with my kids was an amazing experience for me. Lifted me up spiritually beyond any lectures or book that I read in my life. One time with my son Yusuf when he was diagnosed with leukemia, and another time with my son Umar, also was diagnosed with Guillain-Barré. It's a very disturbing disease. And both, alhamdulillah, cured from these 2 diseases, alhamdulillah. But during that time, what inspired me was the attitude of these 2 kids. Never give up. They were true fighters. Their spirit was high. Everybody around them is just happy. In the hospital, through the chemotherapy, they just know that they will win. And they will beat the cancer, inshallah. That experience, that attitude, in my opinion, contributed a lot to success. If you just became grumpy, angry, frustrated at the world, frustrating at Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, why would He put you in that? Nothing will come out. You will just, man radhi falahu rida wa man sakhit falahu sukht. If you are happy, you will remain. And if you're angry at Allah, nothing will change. It is your attitude, how you live your life. Sometimes I go to some people and they will tell me, Sheikh, you don't know what kind of life I have. It's miserable. I'm treated worse than animals. I have no value in my company. My kids don't care for me. My wife hates me. She's just with me because that's what it is. I don't like my family. Yes, Sheikh, the society is bad. There is no job, there is no money, there is no this, there is no that. And you can list all the bad things that he or she can think of. And every time I try to bring something positive, they will immediately turn it. No, you don't know, this is not how it is. You know what it is? It is your attitude. Because people have the same exact. Why? And they completely different, will live with different attitudes. There's this doctor told me, he had a patient, he had a diabetes. He's in one of the Arab countries. And he was telling me, the patient was telling him, Alhamdulillah, Allah tested me with a disease that's not painful. Allah tested me with a disease that I can control with a little bit of adjustment in my life. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave me a disease that even the name of it is cute, sukkar, sugar, And the best thing of this disease, he said that I get to see you often, doctor. I said to myself, Wallahi, this is something have just turned me to be very happy. I never had a patient like that. So positive. Different than someone just so negative about life. Remember, what is your attitude? That will determine how things will turn around. They say 90% of what happened to us is determined by the 10%. What that 10% is what you actually do. What is your reactions are. What your attitude is. I'm sitting at home, drinking my coffee, getting ready to go to work. My daughter passed by, hit the table, coffee, spill my clothes. Get angry, can't you see your animal worse than, even animal watch their way around this house. You guys, you're blind, blah, blah, blah. My daughter get angry, my wife get angry, I get so frustrated, I go quickly change my clothes, I'm late for my meeting, I arrived while I'm basically speeding up, I got a ticket in my way because I was speeding to catch my meeting, I ended up with the ticket, I arrived late, and I forgot my briefcase at home because I was so angry. I had to go back home to bring my briefcase to the meeting. It has my laptop and it has my presentation. All these bad things happen because of my daughter's spilling the coffee. That's right? Is that really the reason? Or the reason was my reaction to her. How angry I became. That basically became like clouded my mind that I can't think clearly. It is my reaction that 10% determined the 90% that happened next. Versus, she did that. I said, oh, that's okay, just give me a towel, let me clean up, or let me go quickly change my clothes. Alhamdulillah ala kulli hal. Just put my pants, I'm so focused, my daughter and my wife are happy. There's no problem, no fight. I go out from the house, ride my car with my briefcase, go do my presentation on time, and everything is good. It is your attitude. Bismillah, alhamdulillah, salatu wassalamu ala rasulillah. I was talking in the last point that one of the principles of success in life is your attitude. Look, for example, at tawbah, repentance. What's the attitude that Allah wants you to have when you commit a sin? When you repent to Allah, to have that trust that Allah will forgive you. To have that attitude that, I'm not perfect, but I have an opportunity to fix what I have done wrong. I have an opportunity to be a better person. I can be better than what I used to be. That's why the ulama rahimahullah said, the person after tawbah can be in higher state before committing the sin even. Before committing the sin. And this positive attitude, Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam قال من قال هلك الناس فهو أهلكهم وفي رواية فهو أهلكهم. Whoever says all people are bad and destroyed, he have indeed destroyed them. Or he is the worst. It's your attitude. If everything is evil, everything is bad. Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam came to the people of Mecca to say, I came to complete the good manners that you have. إِنَّمَا بِعُثْتُ لِأُتَمِّمْ مَكَارِمَ الْأَخْلَاقِ. He didn't say, I come to teach you a manner. No, to complete the manner that you have. That's a positive attitude. When Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam, his wife Safiya, she complained to him that they telling her, you're a Jew, a daughter of a Jew, belong to a Jewish tribe. He taught her how to have a positive attitude. He told her, tell them, he said, they're jealous of you. You know why? Because you are a wife of a prophet. And your father was a prophet. And your uncle was a prophet, Musa and Harun. That's why they are jealous of you. These girls who saying this to you, they don't have that. That's a positive attitude. As I said, your attitude will determine how successful you will be. Also, I move to the next one. Success cannot be based on dreams and wishes and someday. Last time I checked, we don't have something called someday in the week. It's Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. There's no someday. Someday I will, someday I will, someday, one day I will. Where is that one day, someday? Just make a day. Make a date. Make a determination. In other words, success is based on hard work. You have to follow your plan and your dreams with actions. Otherwise, you will not gain anything. It's like someone who wished to harvest what he never planned. You can't. They say in Arabic, من زرع عسى ولعل حصد لا شيء. They said in Arabic, anybody plant the seed of hopefully I will do that. He only harvests nothing. Because there's no real action taking place. We heard Surah Al-Asr earlier. In it, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, إِلَّا الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا وَعَمِلُوا الصَّالِحَاتِ. They do good. You have to do the actions. You have to put effort. And hard work pays off. Otherwise, don't ever think Al-Bukhari became, and Imam Ahmad became, and all these successful people in deen or dunya came out of no hard work. Wallahi, it is hard. It required a lot of commitment. It required a lot of time that you put into any work in order for it to be good and successful. الإمام الشافعي كان يقول لو كلفني أهل شراء بصلة ما عرفت أطلب العلم. If I'm responsible for buying onion that day to my family, I don't know how to focus in knowledge. He put 100% into it. Ask yourself, what is the hard work that based on it you want to see the success that you wish? Last time I checked, success comes only before work in dictionary. In dictionary, success comes before work. But in real life, work comes before success. You put work and hard work, then you achieve the success that you want. اعقلها وتوكل. Tie your camel and depend and trust on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. ادخلوا الجنة بما كنتم تعملون لا بما كنتم تدعون. Enter Jannah because of what you have been doing as a result and as the outcome of your actions, not if your claims. My brothers and sisters, it is something we need to know, that it takes time and effort and hard work to achieve the success that we want. That's why those who talk a lot and do little, we call them hypocrites. Munafiqeen. And unfortunately, a lot of people today, they talk too much. I will do this. But if you want to see, look at their achievement. Look at the actual hard work that they put. I'm sure in the Islamic Center of Kuwait, a lot of people come and say, hey, this is good, this is just that. Then I would assume, like in our center in Houston, when people come, the Masjid need this and need this, and you know, this is Oral Maghrib Institute where I teach. You guys need this. I said, excellent. Jazakallah khair, thank you very much. Would you help? Yeah, I'm helping. Okay, call them on the phone, send them an email, come and do this, take care of that. I'm busy, I'm this. No hard work. Just hard talk. But hard work, very few. But because of those few who put hard work, things work, success comes. It doesn't come because of the out of wishes. Henry Ford once said something very interesting. I learned this when I was visiting Michigan. He said, you cannot build reputation in what you are going to do. Your reputation based on what you have done, not what you are going to do. Once a father asked me to represent him in his daughter's marriage. He said, I'm out of town, out of state, so can you please represent me as her wali to talk to the guy? So when the guy came, he got intimidated. Sheikh Waleed is like talking to him. He's one of my students too. So the first thing I asked him, I said, I'm sure you told them about yourself. He said, yeah. And I said, can you tell me what are the things that you have accomplished in your life? What are the things that you have done in your life? Inshallah, I'm planning to do this. Wallahi, 50% of the talk was, I'm planning to do, I'm planning. I said, Sheikh, you really put me in the spot when you ask me that. The real value of you comes whenever, subhanAllah, وذلك في Islam, it's about your job, what you do. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, in business, you know, I'm not a businessman, but I know a little bit about business. Business people, you know, they don't care. They tell you, do not mix between effort and results. You put all effort that you want, you don't really give results, I don't care for you. That's right. That's how business world is. Allah's business is different. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala doesn't mix also the two. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants you to put the hard work regardless of the results. He rewards you for it 100%. That's why if the akhirah about to come, the Prophet ﷺ said, and you have what? A palm tree planted. Like the day of judgment is going to start. What a palm tree will do? The whole entire earth will be wiped out in a few hours. But the hard work has to be done. Because Allah rewards you for the hard work, regardless if the fruit comes out of it or not. يأتي النبي وليس معه أحد يقول النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم. In Sahih al-Bukhari, in Hadith ibn Abbas, النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم said, the Prophet will come in the day of judgment, no followers. But you have put the hard work. It doesn't matter. We've been asked to put the work. I'll just try to wrap it up. And I want to say that success happens when we have also good, healthy, high self-esteem. When you have trust in yourself, when you have courage, when you have the courage to say I, and you have the courage is to look at yourself in a positive way. A lot of people mix between confidence and arrogance. And a lot of people think they don't understand the concept of humility. Tawadu'. By the way, humility, it doesn't mean that you think less of yourself. Humility, tawadu', it means you think less about yourself. But it never to think less of yourself. Ant mu'min, izzah. There is a concept of izzah. Al-izzah lillah wa li rasuli wa lil mu'mineen. Dignity, honor, power. It belongs to Allah and the Messenger, the believers. So many times we don't have that confidence in our ability to do things, in our ability to speak up. And I will say, make sure that you raise your children to have confidence in themselves. One of my favorite stories, when Umar radiallahu anhu ardah walking the streets of Medina, and the kids were playing, so they scattered, they run all over the place, except Abdullah ibn Zubayr ibn al-Awwam. Then Umar said, why didn't you run like the rest of the kids, like your friends? He said, what would I do? What would I do, sir? قال لم أذنب لأخافك. I didn't make anything wrong to be scared of you. وَلَيْسَ الطَّرِيقُ بِضَيِّقْ لِيُسِعْ لَكَ. And the road and the alley is not tiny, so I need to move away. It's spacious enough for you to pass by me. Why would I move? See the confidence. That's what we want. The confidence that Hind, radiallahu anha, when she was walking in Mecca, holding her son Muawiyah bin Abi Sufyan, and a man in Mecca told her, "Is this your son?" She said, "Yes." He said, "Take good care of him. He looks so smart." في هذا الرجل في الفراسة. He said, "I can predict that this person, when he grows up, he might rule the Arabs." قال إن طال به الزمان لربما ملك العرب. فقالت خاب وخسر إن ملك العرب فقط. She said, what a loser my son is if he's only going to rule the Arabs only. I want him to rule the world. That confidence in herself and her son have led Muawiyah ibn Abi Sufyan to rule the world. To bring the Persian and the Romans into their knees. To become one of the most successful, generous, merciful, wisest king in Islam. يقول الذهبي رحمه الله هو أعظم ملوك الإسلام. The greatest king ever in Islam. معاوية رضي الله عنه وأرضاه. خال النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم. وكاتب وحيه. One of the uncles of the Prophet ﷺ, and he is among the writer of the Quran. You know, many marriages fall apart, I have seen. And when I look through these marriages, why is not successful? I found out the girl has no confidence in herself. She has no confidence that she is going to appeal to please her husband. Or the man has no confidence in himself. People didn't succeed in interviews because they have no confidence. People don't succeed in life in general because of this low self-esteem. You have to have confidence. You have to have courage. You have to have shaja'ah. They said, if men don't have the courage to lose sight of the shore, they will never discover new lands. Don't you agree? You will never. You have to have that success, require that courage, that self-esteem. You know what? I'm going to start my business. I'm going to take the risk. I'm going to admit my mistake. I have to have the courage. And I know, I'm confident that I will be forgiven. That courage, it takes you very far. You have to accept yourself, to be happy with yourself before being happy with others. Finally, success is a fadl and minna from Allah. It's a gift from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It's a reward from Allah azza wa jal. وَمَا بِكُم مِّن نِعْمَةٍ فَمِنَ اللَّهِ. Whatever blessing you have, it is from Allah. Don't be like Qarun. قَالَ إِنَّمَا أُوتِيتُهُ عَلَى عِلْمٍ عِنْدِي. This success is because of me. Don't be like the kuffar, who don't see Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala part of the equation. Who don't say Alhamdulillah. Who don't say, you know what? The success, everything good happening to me, it's because Allah made it that way. Allah made it possible for me. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He is the one musabbibul asbab, is the one who made this sabab, this means to be possible for me. You know, when you have that belief, you will be always humble. When you have this belief, you will always have tawakkul, because you know in your heart, your success depends on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's tawfiq and guidance. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala opened the door of guidance. and in an amazing way. Give you success sometimes from without you knowing how this came about. And I end with this story from South Africa, where a brother, mashallah, a rich man, he had a land and he told his children, I want this land to be waqf. It was a jungle, like in the middle of nowhere. The children said, it's a huge land, maybe 20 kilometers by 20, and huge, a shay unbelievable. They said, why did our dad choose from all his wealth this piece? Nobody knows. But it's tawfiq min Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah guide people to do things to achieve an absolute success because of it. So, years goes by, and the government decides to do a highway, and that highway run in the middle of his land. They rewarded them heavenly with a lot of money. Then they start building on the road, in the highway. They own all the land on the sides. They build gas stations, restaurants, rest areas, stuff like that. And this place generates hundreds of thousands, if it's not millions of dollars every year. And all of this waqf, sponsoring thousands, I heard over 14,000 of orphans just sponsored by this land. Tawfiq min Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah give guidance. Open the heart, open the mind. But it always depends, because I know it is from Allah. My success from Allah. Have you ever heard of the name, a very famous business family in Saudi Arabia? It's called Sharbatli. Have you heard of them before? Sharbatli? You eat banana? Sharbatli bananas and all this, like, I'm sure even their things are here. Huge family. Multi-billionaires. This man, when he started his life in Saudi Arabia, he had a deal with the King Abdul Aziz. And that deal was to bring carpet to the haram. And at that time, the war was started, and insurance, he was about to bring it from Iran and other countries. Anyway, things was like not doing well. So the contract that he had, the insurance went very high, and there's a big risk shipment will not come. So they told him, why don't you go to the king and tell them to excuse you from the deal? He said, why? I'm starting my life as a young businessman, and I'm about to put a carpet in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's house. So some businessmen in Jeddah told him, Ya Sharbatli, hayinkhirib baytak. Yinkhirib baytak, it means like an expression in Arabic, which it means, you will go bankrupt. Your house will be destroyed. Then he said, Ma'goola, afrish baytuhu yikhrib bayti. La ilaha illallah. He said, is it possible? I carpeted his house and he destroyed my house. I beautify his house and he destroyed my house. At that time, this man is not a rich man, just a young man who tried to start a business. But that iman, that thiqah, that trust in Allah, that Allah is the one who brings the success. And I'm over time. Otherwise, stories like this I know personally, because I know some of those people personally, the family. Al-Rajhi, the very famous multi-billionaire Saudi man, also has a similar story to this when he started. And so many I've seen in my life. It's this trust in Allah, being very grateful and thankful to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. They never forgot, no matter how successful they are, no matter how high they are, that Allah above them. So any success that you achieve in life, even if it is as simple as this, you were able to fast today, Thursday and Monday. Even a success like I was able to make Qiyam al-Layl. Even a success like I was able to read Quran, to memorize a short surah or one line. a success in marrying my children, a success in passing an operation, a success in making a little bit of money, a success to make my son graduate, a success of passing an exam, any success. Make sure that after every success that you notice in your life, you say, Alhamdulillah, Allahumma inni ashkuruk wa ahmaduk. I'm grateful and thankful to Allah, because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, وَلَئِن شَكَرْتُمْ لَأَزِيدَنَّكُمْ. If you are thankful, I will give you more. I would like to thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for allowing me to be here tonight with you in this beautiful place, beautiful community. And I hope, inshallah, to see you the rest of the weekend. And I will open the floor if you guys have questions or comments. Otherwise, we call it for tonight, inshallah ta'ala. I'll see you tomorrow. Thank you very much.
Would you like to come here and ask the candidate a question?
Salam. Jazakallah for the speech, mashallah. Very inspiring, as you can say. My question is, do you say that for a Muslim who is successful in career and in business, is success for him, or it's a worldly thing?
The good things about the believer, that his success in this worldly life, if you have the right intention, you will get both. You will become unsuccessful in the dunya, and also you get rewarded from it. So, if you look at the 10 companions who came in the hadith, the Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam gave them the glad tidings of entering Jannah. Abu Bakr and Umar and Uthman, the 10. All of them were businessmen. All of them, 10 of them were businessmen. They earn. And business, if you're successful in it, and the intention is that I want to be a good role model, I want to influence, I want to use my money to spend it for the sake of Allah. See, now we're asking for help for the people who are sick. I wish that I have the money to do. Once I saw a brother, this is again the attitude. He opened his wallet. So I noticed something in the wallet. And he has a note. It says, I will be a millionaire. It says, I will be a millionaire. And he put a date. So I asked this brother, wow, interesting. And this is my style. I said, why you want to be a millionaire? Because that's the most important question is not what happened, what you do about it. Not what happened to us in life. So I asked him, why you want to be a millionaire? His answer was an amazing answer. He said, Sheikh, I want to give the zakat of a millionaire. I'm tired of giving like $200, $500 zakat. I want my zakat to be $200,000, $1 million zakat, because zakat is fard, and fard is higher reward than sadaqah, than volunteer. Like salat al-dhuhr, more reward in it than sunnat al-dhuhr. So zakat, there is more reward in it than sadaqah. And he said, I want my zakat to be big chunk of money. This guy made $1 million before the date he put in his wallet. But shift the attitude. That's the reward. That's the beautiful thing. So you have both, inshallah, and the intention. And I think that's going to be 2 in 1.